In the heart of the great Moli village, where the mighty baobab trees whispered secrets of old, lived a young woman named Amani. She was the chief's daughter, kind, intelligent, and as radiant as the morning sun. To her people, she was a symbol of honor, bound to tradition, but in her heart, she longed for freedom. One evening, as the golden sun dipped behind the hills, Amani walked down a secret path leading to the river. Her beaded anklets jingled softly, and her heart pounded with excitement. There, waiting under the shade of a towering acacia tree, was Kofi. Kofi, the outcast. A man the village had shunned. He was strong, with deep brown skin that glowed in the sunset, his dark eyes holding both sorrow and fire. His banishment was a story few spoke of, but Amani never saw him as an exile, only as the man who made her heart race. "You're late," Amani teased, tilting her head with a playful smile. Kofi chuckled, stepping closer. "And yet, you're still here. That must mean you missed me." Amani laughed, the sound like a soft melody in the warm evening air. They sat by the riverbank, dipping their feet into the cool water, speaking of dreams, of what life could be beyond the walls of tradition. But what they did not know was that their love was not as hidden as they believed. In the heart of the village, shadows of doubt had begun to grow. The elders whispered among themselves, their wrinkled faces stern with concern. They had seen Amani slip away too many times, her gaze lost in thoughts they could not control. One evening, the village council gathered in the chief's great hut. The fire flickered, casting long shadows on the mud walls adorned with tribal symbols. "Chief, there are whispers," an elder spoke, his voice heavy with authority. "Your daughter has been seen wandering off alone. This must be stopped." The chief, a man of great wisdom and pride, frowned deeply. He loved his daughter, but tradition was law. He had already chosen her husband, the great warrior, Jabari. A man strong enough to lead the village one day. Meanwhile, outside Amani's hut, her best friend, Zay, watched her with worried eyes. "Amani, you must stop. If the elders find out, Kofi could be punished. You are promised to Jabari. You know this." Amani turned away, her voice barely a whisper. "But my heart is already taken, Zay. How can I marry a man I do not love?" Zay sighed. She understood love, but in their world, love was a luxury, not a choice. For weeks, Amani and Kofi continued to meet in secret. But fate, as it often does, had its own plans. One evening, as Amani and Kofi sat beneath the old baobab tree, they heard a rustle in the bushes. Before they could react, a group of warriors stepped forward, their spears gleaming in the moonlight. "Amani, step away from him." It was Jabari, his tall frame tense with anger. Kofi instinctively placed himself in front of Amani, his fist clenched. "She is not your possession, Jabari. She is my future wife." Jabari roared. "And you are nothing but an outcast." The warriors seized Kofi, dragging him to the village square. The elders gathered, their faces hardened by years of unyielding tradition. The chief stepped forward, his gaze filled with disappointment. "Kofi, you were cast out for a reason. And yet, you return to steal what is not yours." Amani's heart pounded. She had to speak. "Father, please. This is not theft. This is love." Gasps spread through the crowd like wildfire. The chief's face darkened. "Love?" He shook his head. "You are my daughter. You have a duty. You will marry Jabari at sunrise." Amani's breath caught in her throat. Sunrise. That was mere hours away. And just like that, Kofi was dragged away, leaving Amani standing in the moonlight, her heart shattering with every step he took. The village erupted in celebration for Amani's wedding. Drums pounded, voices sang, but inside her hut, Amani sat in silence. Dressed in the finest bridal beads, Her heart felt heavier than the golden ornaments that adorned her head. Then, in the stillness of the night, a whisper broke through the silence. Amani. Her breath caught. Kofi stood in the shadows, his eyes pleading. Come with me. Let's leave this place and start a new life. Her hands trembled. She had dreamed of this moment, but she could not abandon her people, her father. Tears welled in her eyes. Kofi, I can't. His shoulders fell. He knew. She had made her choice. With one last lingering look, Kofi stepped back into the darkness, disappearing with the wind. Years passed, and though duty had kept them apart, Amani's voice never ceased. She spoke to her father, to the elders, urging them to see the world beyond rigid tradition. Slowly, the village opened its heart. Marriages of choice were no longer whispers of scandal but stories of celebration. And as for Kofi, his name was no longer spoken as an outcast, but as a man who had taught the village the true meaning of love. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in hues of gold, Amani stood by the river where their love was born. The wind caressed her face, carrying a name only her heart would always remember. Kofi. And so, the story of Amani and Kofi was never forgotten, for some loves, though forbidden, live forever in the whispers of the wind.